Let's also establish some things here. So I am getting some help for myself in the sense that I'm going to be having occupational therapy. Now here's the thing, and this is four core related reasons for why I have such a disdain for most psychotherapy. So when I was 17, I really wanted to be in primal therapy. I had done research on therapies where you could actually receive compassion from your psychotherapist. What makes me so frustrated about psychotherapy is that the therapist cannot help you like heal or meet your needs. That's my four core frustration of what is lacking and not wanting to miss it. Because missing that opportunity to receive love and compassion makes me feel worthless. Now, I've gone over this many times. My parents will not help me in any of this, okay? So first, look at the timing of when I had a huge mental breakdown and when things became a shitstorm for my mental health and my life. When I aged out of program and I had to have contact with my parents. That's when my life became worse again. I was stable. I was stable for that time. And when I aged out of that program, I did not want to leave that program. And I was getting help. I was having professional help in that program. Like not I wasn't seeing a therapist, but I would have a youth worker who was trained in mental health. She had groups and she was getting me active. She her name was Robin. And I would not like leave the house and stuff, and she like made me like get up. She was a good influence for me. I would type her probably as an SCE, and she was really a positive force in my life. And because of the aging out, I lost her. That also, was not good for my mental health either. But worse for my mental health was that I had to talk to my parents again. Now, my parents emotionally and physically abused me. They would not help me unless it made them look good. They have clinical dark triad traits. Ask Ave, ask Rosebud, ask Very Scary from the forum. They would be able to tell you. They will not help me. They are why I am in this situation. They are why I've had to change 7, 8 homes in the past year. Because I can't live with them. If I lived with them, I would commit suicide. They made me physically sick. Well, partially. I have Ehlers-Danlos, but the stress activated it in me. But that predisposed me, the HLA-B27 gene and the Ehlers-Danlos predisposed me to developing that over time with the stress and young in myself. My father pulled and shook me by my hair, called me names like a worthless piece of shit. I've shared this with my program now, and I'll show you. I have some videos and I have shown these to people before, but my parents always twisted it on me, okay? They're manipulative. They have a lot of social status and power and they're very wealthy. I'll show you like these are old, you'll see in my camera roll, okay? They are not going to help me. And if they did anything that would help me, they would make my life a living hell like they did with my supported living, which Regional Center was paying for. I did not want them involved. And I have not had them have contact in this new program I'm in, and it's making me more stable, which is good. But let me find those videos. So, okay. So this is my father physically abusing me, okay? Get the fuck out of my sight. I don't want to see you. No. That's old. This is from 2020. Get the fuck out of my sight. I don't want to see you. Yep. This is my father calling me names. Now, let me find where my mom made that stuff with my medical. And this is why I've had all these medical problems. This is partially why I'm obese now, aside from mold poisoning and then being out of the home. There's a lot of reasons, but It's not a simple one reason. And I showed my workers these videos I did recently in this new placement I'm in when I had a breakdown when I did not get accepted into a placement that I really wanted to be in. It's random people stuff about us, and then I just told you. I just told him to tell you to take me to a doctor. Just tell me that, Kara, and I'm gonna show people. I already screened it to my sisters and to Sarah, and they think that he's a freak and you're a freak for doing that. Why would anyone trust you anyways? You have autism. You have extreme mental illness. Right. So, like they are very abusive and they are very toxic for my own self. They will not help me. And they have a lot of role in why I was oversharing on the forum. People like Adam Strange and Northstar, they vilify me freelance when I was being gaslit, made out as schizophrenic to hide abuse, to make it look like they were justified to have violence to my own self. Okay? I've had a very hard life. Very hard life. And I don't want psychotherapy like that. I want the compassion given to me. I don't want a gaping hole in my heart where I never have compassion and care. Even if therapy over time teaches you how to meet your needs like that, it's still missing. It's not like a parental love. I want that parental love. I don't want that, it's like a mature, relationship where it's not parental. I want the parental care. I want it. I don't want that hole in my heart. And that's what therapy does. It doesn't, unless it's like something like Primal. I would be very open to going to Primal or being in a certain group home. That placement that I was very devastated of being in, of not being accepted into. It was a retired licensed marriage family therapist who was also a school counselor. I wanted to be in her home. And because she and her sister have a sick mom, they said no. So now I'm in this home. This home is good. But, you know, I wanted that nurturance and I lost that opportunity. Maybe in the future, but it will come and something better. Like this woman wants to take me out of the country and travel, for instance, but I wanted to be friends with her son, and I did. Like, I will show you. I messaged her. I did. I messaged her if I could be friends with her son, and she never responded to me, and she ignored me because I really liked her son, and I wanted to have a friendship with somebody who is male so I get more exposure for my PTSD. Because I was even sleeping sometimes, and I had. I just am so emotional over this. I just moved recently here. I still have boxes. Like I said, I've been moved around like 7 or 8 times in the past year. I've not even had a stable placement, and people are too hard on me. You know? I have somewhere the net that I was sleeping in sometimes because I was so traumatized with men. No, I posted it before anyway in here. You know, even this process, this is the part of moving that I hate. You know, just having to unpack everything, and I don't mind moving, but when I miss an opportunity like that, it's gut punching. And when I have to unpack everything, that's the most stressful part for me. Rather than the instability, it's that's the most stressful for me. And I'm already messy and don't know where things are often the spatial and stuff. But I can't find it. But my point is that I would sleep in that net thing and put a heart lock on it that I so that in case somebody would try to touch me sexually. You know, like that's how traumatized that I am. It's not something that's easy. You know, like my parents put me in this position. You know, they put me in this position that I was oversharing online. And then the Enneagram 4 low side of 2 and needing my suffering cared for and acknowledged and valued. You know, that's 4. I'm not a 6. I'm not a 6. That's such a gross misread of me. That's not what I suffer with. No, that's not what represents my emotional strife and way of processing emotions. No, I don't even have a 6 fix. I thought that I did, but I'm too self-originating and I don't doubt my own knowledge. I align with either a 5-6 or a 7-6 fix for myself, but a 6 fix is no. My complex PTSD makes me look double or triple reactive. But I'm only singularly reactive. So, you know, I have tried to fucking get better. I made this post on Not My Type Enneagram Facebook about how what Echo was trying to push on me with therapy is a 3 fix thing. Okay? It's the valued thing that what goes in therapy. There are different ways to heal. I want something that is hands-on nurturance. And psychotherapy doesn't give you that. It teaches you how to fucking live without it. That makes me feel worthless. Aside from stuff with double empathy problem stuff that I'm afraid to tell a therapist, ABA therapy experience, cathedral home. I do not want psychotherapy for all those reasons. I'm not opposed to psychotherapy if it is built around nurturance and if they are informed enough on autism. If it was primal therapy, if it was something like somatic psychotherapy where they're hands-on and they don't force you to just grow up without your needs being met, then I would take it. Maybe that sounds 7 fix of me, huh? That's not something that a 6 fix would do. Not especially not a Synflow in their stack. It triggers me. Did you just see what I showed you with my mother? Saying, who could trust you anyway? I've been made out psycho. That's why I'm so sensitive to people, aside from being social and image. That's why I'm so sensitive to how people see me. The whole thing with Ashura, what I saw with her publicly humiliating people. Okay? That was because I'm social and image. And I believe the people who didn't see much wrong with it, they're probably heart last types and not as strong as social and slash or. Okay? I am sensitive to that shit because I'm social and image. If somebody just was picking and criticizing on my weakest areas in front of lots of other people, I would want to commit suicide. I would be sobbing and bawling, you know, like that would trigger me. And Ashura's probably imaged last. I am not an Enneagram 6. My parents are not going to help me. I wish that they would and that they'd give me real love. But they don't know how to. because of their own childhoods. You know, even distance in the past would just say, like, how, you know, how even like me having to tell my mom that stuff when I'm in my 20s and she's in her 50s, you know, having to like help my mom set that boundary that she should already know with my sister who was blackmailing her with suicide. My sister was doing that because my parents are fucked up. Let me even see. My parents are not good. They will not help me at all. They don't care. No one cares about me other than really FS92. And that's why I don't care if people think he's toxic for me or not. Because he's the only person who has any care or regard for me. That really values my emotional pain and me as a person. I don't have it. It would be a video. I don't have it in text. She was just in the video. She admitted that. But yeah, like, my parents are not gonna fucking help me at all. Not at all. They're horrible. They have potential, and maybe in the future they'll be better people if society changed and they changed and they learned lessons, but they're just always going to deny how harmful they were or minimize it and find a way to blame it on just, well, she was autistic, we couldn't handle her. Oh, she has psychosis. I do not have schizophrenia or psychosis, and you should be able to know that by this forum history that I don't have psychosis.